they won't be able to provide evidence. But when the Benin tells you, then they will go further and say that the Obas of Benin were being buried in Ile-Ife, said by who? They say Jacob Wade Araira. Jacob Wade Araira is a Yoruba man. There are 3 types of Edo people. The Benins of old classified Edo as 3. Edo Nekwe, Isokedo, and Edone Sese. These were the 3 classes of Edo. So the Oba of Benin was so fearsome, was so dreaded in the Yoruba territories that he said when he wages war on earth, Yorubas now. You understand? Shango will join him in heaven. That the guy who's hurt is battling, so let me also join him off. Yoruba parable. They should go and ask their elders. A Benin chief, preferably knowledgeable in the martial arts, was posted as a political resident to the conquered kingdom. The Benin resident was called Bale Kale by the Yoruba. So the concept of Bale that is now everywhere Yoruba were originally referred to Ohamoba no Bagie no Yagba Ore Oti Yoruba Henye. You understand? We are just starting. This one say we came too late. You've not come too late. A nice one will calm down. A Benin chief, preferably knowledgeable in the martial art, was posted as a political resident to the conquered kingdom. Alright? This Benin resident was called Bale Kale. So originally, all those bale were used to represent the chief residents that Oba Benin used to send to Yoruba land to preside, so that Evina send the girl Mokpo Owagba. Eventually, he grew angry. He left. He traveled from Mugoton and came. We were doing a ceremony. Then he took out his gun. And shot at the Oba of Benin. But things day. Evian day. You understand? Evian day. Things or things. Evian day. He missed. Eventually. In summary, he missed because Evian day. Oba did not send any of his chiefs to go and bring the bagger. He only sent a message to his other Dutch traders or Dutch friends. And we took his head off. The kingdom of Benin under Oba Semede reigned 1816 to 1848. We are not telling that someone fell from heaven. We are also giving you dates because that was the year the Oba reigned. So, and they got an independence in 1824. So he's in between 1816 and 1848. He said the kingdom of Benin under Oba Semede was one of the first countries in the world to extend to this South America country the diplomatic recognition which validated our independence. When the Oba Benin come out and said, I recognize Brazil as an independent country, automatically Brazil became a validated independent country. So that people know how I think. I don't want anybody to think like the way I think. If Oba Seki as a governor picks my father, my late father, to succeed him, me, Imaswen Amowe Zodua, will not vote for my own father. Are you people listening now? If the current governor of Edo State picks my own father, my own late father, no what be me to be the next governor of Edo State, me na no me vote in many. So that answers everything. I have nothing To be candid, I'm not interested in politics.
Thanks for clicking on this channel. Please subscribe to FO's blog history, and click on the notification button so that whenever we upload a new video you will be notified. Great Benin impact on the international stage. Benin Kingdom was the first to recognize Brazil's independence in 1824. In 1824, the Republic of Brazil, in South America, forcibly obtained her independence from Portugal, cutting off the umbilical cord which joined her to her European mother country. Other European countries were reluctant to extend diplomatic recognition to the new country. The Kingdom of Benin, under Oba Osamwenda, 1816–1848, was one of the first sovereign countries in the world to extend to this South American country the diplomatic recognition which validated her independence. It was only after this recognition, extended by the Benin Kingdom to Brazil, that other European countries like Britain and France, and then Portugal herself, extended their own diplomatic recognition to the new Latin American country. Great Benin country has always had so much influence on world affairs at the international level in ages past, whereas its neighbors were still bush savages in the era and time, when the Benin people had sway in matters of world affairs, Mr. Azadawa stated. He further said, "For what Governor Obaseki has done to Benin Kingdom, if he picks my father to succeed him as a governor of Edo State, I will not vote for my own father." Jacob Havra that said, Oba of Benin was buried in Ife, is a Yoruba man. In those days when Benin was an empire, the Oba of Benin was so dreaded in Yoruba territory. There is a parable in Yoruba language that says, when the Oba of Benin wages war on earth, Isego in heaven joins him. Please sit down and watch all these interesting narratives from Mr. Azadawa.
Today, what should I do now? What should I do now? Where do we start from? Where do we start from? Boy, okay. Let me read something. You know, let me read something. You know, this I miss. Let me use this one to start. Let me just use this small one page. Let me use that here. This thing I want to read now. A whole lot of you are not aware of it. A whole lot of you are not aware of it. You know, whenever you come to my program, you must learn one or two or three things. No, if only that will not become your arsenal. When me arena, I equip you people with some arsenal, with some bullets, with some weapon. And wire conquo. So even if you some bullet, no why. I just want to give you some bullet. So enable to some arsenal. Provable fact. So today you know now. I know now. So I want to give you point number one, but I've asked my wife to type it. By tomorrow I will drop it I'll drop it on this platform and then on my private page on Facebook. So why am I as a written form? But you are hearing it live. Yeah, you are hearing it live. I want you to listen. This is quoted by my mentor. Everyone knows him. My late mentor, Dr. Aishen Ehagosa. So if you don't have this book, go and buy one. If you don't have this book, go and buy one. Oh God. Oh God. It's a lot of Benin people have been reaching out to me. I've been giving them books. So I've been equipping a lot of people. The only red book that you people have been talking on social media is less than 0.5% of Benin history. If you want to get at least 10% of Benin history, I'm not saying Red Book is not. Red Book is an incredible book. If not because I was a lazy writer, I was supposed to be one of the writers, one of the contributing writers to Red Book. I'm not joking, because almost everybody that wrote that Red Book are one way or the other a product or related to Institute for Benin Studies, from Professor Edoba of the University of Ibadan to no, not Professor Edoba, I said Professor Edo, University of Ibadan, Professor the former student, the Uniben, I think he did chapter 1. I say Pao, forgotten it. Then Professor Uyulawa is also my mentor. Professor Uyulawa Swanlele to Nevadowski. These were all products of the Institute for Benin Studies. Ya sabe Mrs. Pat Ozingbe. Ya sabe contemporaries, but he's older than me. I think he just rounded up his PhD. Ekato, from then Mr. Aikurugi Obobai for another of my mentor, and quite a whole lot of all those Russian and all of that. These were almost products. So I was given a chapter because it was Professor Uyulawa Uswanle, and I assembled everybody that contributed to that works. So he likes me so much, and I big me chapter by me. So, but there are other lot of books. All right, this book was written by Dr. Aishane Hagosa. It was first written. It was first produced 1995. And the title of this book is Benin City, the Edo State Capital. This is the old one. I get all a power book. Almost 23 of his books. I get all of them. I don't play with him. If you read 23 of a past books, your life will never be the same. So, but shortly before he died, he now reprinted it. It's still the same thing. Benin City, Edo State Capital. So if any of you who asked me to get you some books, if you have it, you can go to page 12. You can go to page 12. Why they are talking about local history, I want to bring something that we are international, man. We are international. We are not local. We are not local. So I want you to pay keen attention, because I want to explain something. Benin and Lagos impact on the international stage. We are talking about at far back at early 19th century, the Benin people's impact, not in Nigeria, present day Nigeria, not in present day Africa, but in the world map. In the world map. Why all of those, why the Yorubas were still doing Omila and Ifa and Shango, Benin were already controlling the affairs of the world to an extent. This is what I want to read. I want you to listen. In 1824, the Republic of Brazil in South America forcibly obtained her independence from Portugal, cutting off the umbilical cord which joined her to her European mother country, because she seized her independence from a European mother country. Listen, other European nations were allowed to extend. They were afraid. Listen, other European nations were afraid to extend diplomatic recognition to the new country. So, when Brazil forcefully got their independence in 1824 from their mother nation, Portugal, other nations of the world, they were afraid to congratulate them, to say, job well done. It's just like The way Senegal had a president the other day, Tinubu went there and said, congratulations, we now have a president. Other countries of the world, they were afraid to congratulate Brazil that got their independence in 1824. That, I mean, Yoruba existing already. Those ones that I say, oh, your empire. They were not existing at that time. I don't really understand. I want you people to listen. Don't. I don't want anybody to get distracted. I want you to listen. I just want you to listen to how great Benin is. I want you to listen. In 1824, Brazil forcefully, however you want to put it, got their independence from Portugal. But all countries of the world, they were afraid to congratulate Brazil, except one country. Except one country. And that country is called the Kingdom of Benin. Other European nations were afraid to extend diplomatic recognition to the new country. The Kingdom of Benin, under Oba Osemede, that is, he reigned between 1816 to 1848. Don't forget, this was in 1824. So, when Brazil got their independence, other countries were afraid to recognize Brazil as a sovereign nation that is independent. But the sovereign nation of Benin, you understand? Under the reign of Oba Osemede, who reigned between 1816 to 1848, was one of the first countries in the world to extend to this South American country the diplomatic recognition which validated our independence. Listen. The Kingdom of Benin, these are facts. It's only Benin that when we tell history, we give dates, we give names, we give countries, we give how it happened. We are the only one. You understand? We don't talk, say person use rope to come down. We don't talk myths, we talk facts. It's 1824. Let them go and do their research. This is what Izoduwa have said. Let them go and do the research. In 1824, when Brazil got our independence from Portugal, every other countries of the world were afraid to extend a diplomatic, to extend that diplomatic recognition of a sovereign nation to Brazil. But the first country to do that was the Benin people, under the reign of Oba Osemede, who reigned between 1816 and 1848. And it was that recognition that Benin gave to Brazil that validated our independence, that actually made Brazil a country of our own. Then you are here arguing with other Oromila people. Already here a quick webo. At the time when we were running international matter, when the decision of the Benin country validated other countries' sovereignty, these local champions, Nitsegbenya Yoruba, Nike, Nitsegbenya Igbo, they were still wearing mango leaf in the thick rainforest of Southwest or the mangrove forest of Southwest. They had the area. All those were at that time they were cannibals. Then Benin were already running international level. So it took Benin as a country to recognize the sovereignty of a faraway country in South America called Brazil, which validated why they are celebrating that Yoruba has now become a recognized language in Brazil. But they fail to understand that the language that they now celebrate in Brazil, it was we, the Benin people, that made Brazil an independent country. So they will always be in our shadows. He said the kingdom of Benin under Oba 7, 1816 to 1848, was one of the first countries in the world to extend to this South American country the diplomatic recognition which validated their independence. All right? Then he went further. You know, one thing about Benin is that we don't tell a story and just leave it there. These are things anybody can go and verify. We don't tell a story and leave it there. Okay, it went further. I want you to listen. The Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City, which the Benin City was the administrative headquarters of everywhere, even at that time. So Lagos answers to Benin City. This Benin City now, when they say small, now the same Benin City now recognized Brazil because before Brazil became recognized by other countries of the world as an independent country. The same Benin City, when they say small. The Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City a wealthy and literate Lagosian, a Brazilian returnee. The Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City a wealthy and literate Lagosian, a Brazilian returnee, whom the Lagos people generally call Aguda, just as they call the Lagos Sierra Leonean returnees Saro. This Aguda Grandil was His Excellency Manuel Aves de Lima. This Aguda Grandil was His Excellency Manuel Aves de Lima. He became the ambassador plenipotentiary. Ambassador plenipotentiary of Oba 7 of Benin to the court of the Republic of Brazil in the capital Bahia. So the Oba of Lagos recommended this man to the Oba of Benin that since you have now recognized Brazil as an independent country, it is good that this is a Brazilian Lagosian, which they refer to as Jagoda, a Brazilian Lagosian. Since you have now recognized Brazil as a sovereign nation, it's good that you use someone who understands Brazil as an ambassador between Benin Kingdom and the country of Brazil. The Benin country, the Benin nation, and the country of Brazil. Do you get the gist? Now, the writer furtherly wrote, it was only after this recognition extended by Benin to Brazil that other European countries like Britain and France and then Portugal herself extended their own diplomatic recognition to the new Latin America country. So wherever you are supposed to be clapping for yourself. Maybe you people still don't understand what this thing means. Maybe you people still do not understand. Maybe after I've done this live video, go and take a sober reflection. that there was one point. There was one point in our life. There was one point in the destiny, in the history of Benin Kingdom, that we were that powerful that it has to take the recognition of Benin Kingdom before other countries were able to accept the sovereignty of Brazil. I just want you people to go and after this you go home. Well, so if you drink beer, take 2 bottles of beer. I want you to ruminate on this thing that as far back as almost 200 years ago, Benin was that powerful that until we recognize Brazil as a sovereign country of its own, the other countries did not recognize them. Okay, you are fought for your independence, you are now independent. Before, the English, the French, even the Portuguese themselves, which they got freedom from, the Brazilians got freedom from, now recognize them. And now we doing your baruru. We don't allow no me an ambassador. So ask them. Give them facts. That where were you? As whether a tribe or whether anything. Benin were recognizing. It took Benin recognition of other sovereign countries. You were still in the bush doing omila. Wa we shango, wa avie, wa lokinya vi ikpigo ya avio ya da. Even though we already commanding international affair. Oh Lord. I just say make I give una down and make una take whole pockets for the night. Next one. Next live program. You got another one. With red oil, have you bigo. I have your da. You understand? I give you a violence. This is violence pro mass. Ovioba Kasi. This is violence pro mass. 1824, when Brazil got our independence from Portugal, other European countries refused to recognize Brazil as a sovereign country until the Oba Benin came out and said, I recognize you as a sovereign country. And with that statement of recognizing Brazil as a sovereign country, it validated their independence as a sovereign country. And because of that, one of the Brazilian Lagosian returnee was now pleaded to be made as an ambassador between the Benin Kingdom or the Benin Nation and the new formed country. So Brazil was formed in 1824. So, and the new formed country, after that was done, the Europeans, like the English, the French, even the Portugal themselves, now came out and said, since the Benin has recognized you, we have no choice. We also recognize you as a country. Baba. Uwegbo. We shango. We are saying Pukuse. Uwegbo. We are already determining the fate of international affairs. So you people go and loud it. Now, someone called me 3 days ago and told me something. He said, why is everybody attacking Benin? I told him, ina wuhendwa omi yehon ina omi tana the do ina vaya ha eranomi pakpa edo wakpa lo eranomi pakpa edo wakpa lo. Imagine ayazoni ewebo. You people can translate it to English. That is, tree we get flesh. Tree we get flesh. You know that? Tree we get flesh. Neither the peel. Irano make papa. Akba law. Now, haven't you people not talked about? Haven't you people thought about this statement? Vaya havedo ikaladera. It's a statement. I might typho, but the man has do not buy or after that ikaladera. I am. But I'll translate in English. So when you ever do, you can finish it. You can. So the guides, the guides of a tree, the guides of a tree tells you the worth of the tree. Meaning, that's the guides, the circumference of a tree, the size of a tree tells you the worth of the tree. Benin is a big tree. Edo vera ati uloko no gira. Edo vera ati uloko no gira. Ati ikimi when himi uloko ramahi anojo we ramahi on ikimi. So we are an oversized tree. That's what it means. It is the guide of the tree that tells you. Some of you already know what Ikaladera means in Edo language. That's what I've just explained. Ikaladera, I mean, it's a statement that is not finished. It is the guide of the tree that tells you its what. Its what. Minira bolose, minira zabose, tells you the what of the tree. We answer here. Abi ikwera. So let them attack. Let them attack. It is good. You understand? They call us a small tribe, but the small tribe that has kept them awake. A small tribe that have kept them awake. A small tribe that have kept them awake. You understand? A small tribe as far back as 1824. They don't determine what they happen for world history. They're the big tribe. They see they do a mababa for inside rainforest. Now, let me tell you what facts are all about. Let me tell you what facts are all about. We provide facts. Things like the Yorubas will lie that the language that the earliest Obas of Benin were speaking in the palace court were Yoruba language. But if you ask them to provide evidence, they won't be able to provide evidence. But when the Benin tells you, then they will go further and say that the Obas of Benin were being buried in Ile-Ife. Said by who? They say Jacob Wade Araira. Jacob Wade Araira is a Yoruba man. There are 3 types of Edo people. The Benins of old classified Edo as 3. Edo Nekwe, Isokedo, and Edo Nesesese. These were the 3 classes of Edo. Edo Nekwe were half Edo, half Yoruba. Enya wa ye bun Edo na. Eni wa mu bozuawo. Eni wa zuawo, eni amwere gboto. Then Isokedo, they are pure Edo people, but they don't stay in the heart of Edo. They stay in the periphery of Edo. So, those Isokedo, they can be Edo Esesese or they can be Edo Nekwe. They cannot choose because they stay in the periphery. They are almost multicultural. They are Edo, but they stay close to other cultural groups that could influence them. Then Donese says those who were born and raised up in the heart of the land. These are the 3 classes. Jacob Wade Araira was a Donekwe, half-breed. All those Hollywood, all those all those Wolverine, all those wolf movie, all those Twilight, here wolf. You know, they will now say this is half-breed. So Jacob Wade Araira was half-breed. I gave a chronology of Jacob Wade Araira. The first 14 years of his life was spent in Yoruba land. I gave a chronology. And after he came, he didn't even spend time in Benin. Then he moved to Delta. Then after he had became a full-grown man. So, in his formulative age, yes, he didn't spend up to 2 years in Benin. Then how would you not think that someone in his formulative age who didn't spend up to 2 years will not be the one to write our history? And we will not be the one to agree that the history written by one man on behalf of everybody should be the authentic. You understand? Only a donekwe. If you don't need more, they go tall. So now, so we have fact. I've given you. There are 3 types of Edo: Edo Nekwe, Isokedo, and Edo Nesesese. I've told you. So when they are talking to Jacob Wade Araira, those are half-breeds. We have a lot of half-breeds in Benin land. So that's why they are neither here nor there, because they are half-breeds. So we are the pure breeds. We are the pure breeds. When I was talking about fact, when they say the Obas of Benin will be very blah, 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 when you ask them to bring fact, they won't be able to bring fact. You can never see any Obas of Benin mentioned anywhere. Chronologically, ever recorded. It's the same thing. Edo Pataki and Edo Nesesese is the same. So you can't see them. But when we want to produce fact, you will see that we are not the one forcing the fact. It's even the people that the matter concerns are the one giving fact. For example, when you say that the Obas of Yorubas, the Obas of Lagos were being buried in Benin. That the Obas of Benin were being buried in Benin. That's a statement of fact. This now, you now listen. It is not Oba Benin that is saying this, nor any Benin man that is saying this. This is what one of the Obas of Lagos said. One of the family head of the family of one of the past Oba of Lagos. This is what he said. Recorded January 8, 2017. Recorded January 8, Vanguard. Published Vanguard. It was on Sunday Vanguard newspaper. January 8, 2017. So we dey give fact, we no dey give lie. Hear from the horse's mouth. Now, the head of Eshilokun royal family. Eshilokun was one of the Obas of Lagos. After Kutere, I think Eshilokun was about the 5th or the 6th Oba of Lagos. Now, this is what the head of that Eshilokun royal family said, which was recorded on Sunday Vanguard newspaper of January 8, 2017. The head Eshilokun royal family, Ibrahim Balogun, on speaking on the occasion, held at the Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos, said that one of the spectacular feats of Oba Eshilokun was to put a stop to the practice of taking the corpse of any deceased Oba of Lagos to Benin for burial. He said Oba Eshilokun with courage succeeded in retrieving the corpse of his father, Oba Ologun Kutere. This made Oba Ologun Kutere the first Oba of Lagos to be buried in the palace called Iga Idugaron. You understand? So, in other words, to know the truth, the people must be a testament of it. If you say the Oba of Benin is a Yoruba man, have you ever heard anywhere recorded or wherever that Oba of Benins have agreed to such fact? Now, let me give you what is fact. Let me give you what is fact. When my late mentor was alive, he told me about a story. The story that he told me was his own father, who was called Paidemudia, and one of the sons of Oba Kenzwa. This story was in the early 50s. In order for you people to listen to that story, in 2017, which was the first time we did Association of Great Benin Descendants we did our conference that we used to hold. That was the very first time we had that conference. I think it was in 2000. No, it was in 2017. Either 2017 or 2018. Before that conference, late Dr. Aisene Hagosa told me this story. During that conference, he told me this story. He told everybody that story again. I still have the video of the conference. By tomorrow, God willing, I will publish the video again for us to listen. He told me the story, that this story was told by him by his father, who was Paidemudia. Paidemudia was one time an Ohunsa of Oli Arosa. And one of the sons of Oba Kenzwa were the two eligible Benin people that were choosing to attend a particular conference or so, to attend a particular conference or a school or a research institute. I seem not to remember to place my head around it. Probably in Ibadan or probably in Lagos. He said then you probably would take the water where you get to a point. There's a place you get to in Ekiti or so. It was in Lagos. So you take, they used to take the waterway. Then there's a place they go to Ibadan. There was a train running from Ibadan to Lagos. If I can remember I'm not quoting this thing factually. Otherwise, I would have been saying this is how he said it, because that was about 2016 that he told me the story, but he narrated the story again. No, 2017. But he narrated the story twice, personally to me and during that conference. So we still have that conference video on our Facebook page, Association of Great Benin. So I'm going to look for it and post it, so that was about the holy speech that he delivered. And so eventually, he said when they got to the train station, they were sweaty. So these two Benin men, they pulled off their shirts. You know, then Iwu, the Benins were still showing the Iwu body markings on their bodies. All right. So these Ekiti women traders from a very far distance saw the Iwu body markings on these two people. One was a prince and one was his own father, Paidemu, their own side, Idemu, Aisien. He said the moment the Ekiti women saw the Iwu, where they were, where those women were when they saw the Iwu on these people, they quickly recognized that these are Benin people. He said this event happened just in the 50s, shortly before Nigeria got her independence. He said they crowd on their knees. They crowd from a very far distance on their knees, paying obeisance to these Benin nobles. That is how the Ekiti Yorubas dreaded, worshipped. That is how they worshipped the Benin people. But anyway, they are going to say, he don't see the lie again. But they forget that there are some of their Ekiti parables, which I'm going to read out from this book, that authenticate this story. You know, say I not sabi speak Yoruba, so however I call her, una will understand. Okay, this is the first parable. This is what Aishen said. This later introduction of guns into Benin warfare made overcoming easier still for the campaigning Benin armies. Now, we are giving a statement of fact again. Professor S.A. Akintoye of the University of Ife quoted a Yoruba saying, which was a description of those later Benin campaigns which involved the use of muskets and artillery pieces. This is what he said. He said, Oba Ado, I will try. Oba Ado gbe ogunile, ogbomodu, ngbe ajorun, Oba Ado ngbe ogunile, ogbomodu ngbe ajorun. They will understand. The Yoruba people, they won't interpret their language on the Makame. But interpreted in English, the Oba Benin makes war on earth, and Ogbumodu joins him in the skies. Ogbumodu was probably another name for Shango. So the Oba Benin was so fearsome, was so dreaded in the Yoruba territories that he said when he wages war on earth, Yorubas now, you understand, Shango will join him in heaven. that the guy who's hurt is battling, so let me also join him off. Yoruba parable. They should go and ask their elders. Then there's another one. In the Yoruba areas. Oh God. Let me read some. Before I go to that parable, let me read an excerpt before the parable. You understand? There is no parable in Benin that says that we dreaded Oni of Ife, or we dreaded Alafin of Oyo, or we were subservient to them. But in their own parables, it is written, it's derelict, it's all there. How they dreaded us, how they worshipped the Oba of Benin. I just want you people to calm down. Let me read an excerpt, then I'll go into one parable. If they will also deny it. Don't worry, I'll give you books. Call me. I get short plug. All of now they say red book. If we give you books, if I give you books to read, by the time you read and finish, all those jargons when they write, you go hear the laugh. That's why we not to they make mouth. Okay. Administration based on the system of indirect rule were set up by Benin in each vassal principality or kingdom. The native rulers were allowed to carry on with the governance of their people. A Benin chief, preferably knowledgeable in the martial arts, was posted as a political resident to the conquered kingdom. The Benin resident was called Bale Kale by the Yoruba. So the concept of Bale that is now everywhere Yoruba, we originally referred to Ohamoba no Bagie no Yagba Ore Oti Yoruba Henye. You understand? We are just starting. This one say we came too late. You've not come too late. Am I swan? We calm down. A Benin chief, preferably knowledgeable in the martial art, was posted as a political resident to the conquered kingdom. Alright? This Benin resident was called Bale Kale. So originally, all those Bale were used to represent the chief residents that Oba Benin used to send to Yoruba land to preside, so that if na send the girl mo ukpo owagba. You understand? I'll go ahead. It will lead me to the parable. Alright? This Benin resident was called Bale Kale. That's where the Yorubas were referring to. Emanomogi to ensure that what is due for the Oba of Benin is given to the Oba of Benin. By the Yoruba, among whom he lived. His presence among them ensured that the duties of vassalage due to Benin were carried out by the people as an at when due. These duties included taking to Benin city a leopard. Leopard, now they call English people, there's a leo, L-E-O, leo. You understand? These duties included taking to Benin city a leopard that was killed by any hunter in these Yoruba areas. So, it is enshrined in their parable. And this is what their parable says. Ẹni tí ó bá pa ẹni tí ó pa àbí tí ó pọ́n ẹ̀kún rán ara. I think my wife grew up in Yoruba like she was helping me just now. Ẹni tí ó pa ẹ̀kún ẹni tí ó bá ẹ̀kún, that's leopard, that's what they call relonado. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a Yoruba parable translated The hunter who kills a leopard has by that achievement sent himself on a long trek to Benin. You are laughing your head. You are laughing your head. I'm not Yoruba. But translated, it is enshrined in their parable. Maybe all these useless social media under 25 years old or 20 years old that is doing TikTok do not know. But I'm not giving them an assignment. Translated that the person who kills a leopard, the hunter who kills a leopard, has by that achievement sent himself on a long trek to Benin. So that means most territories in Yoruba land, when they kill leopard, they must go and give it to their overlord. Okay, those of us show how you take some. Oh God, it clears so. Now they sound like that. You see, although I think it's turned upside down. Can you see it? That enitioba, that's PA. Then ekun. You see? Me not a bit like enitioba pa ekun. Relonado. Anyway, you people can hear Ado there. You people can hear leopard there. So, whichever Yoruba that you can hear, you will listen. When one horn say, I have tried. No, I've shared it now. You didn't come in the beginning. It is Benin City, the Edo State capital. Not the revised to. This was the original that was published 1995. It's the same thing. This was the original that was produced by Dr. Aishene, originally written 1995. Then it was revised before my pa died. It was reprinted. When was it reprinted again? 2021, shortly before my mentor joined his ancestors, Dr. Aishene Gagosa. But originally was written 1995. But for the revised one, for the reprinted one in 2021, where I'm quoting for, if you have the book, if you don't have the book, I can send you a copy. Is page 30. You understand? You people call me, let me give you books. Oh God. Might I forget. Now, dates are very important. It authenticates the true history. When there was crisis in Ologbo, when the younger brothers of the Yoruba people in terms of life, one thing you need to know about the Yorubas is that they have 80%, 20% history and 80% mythology and lies. 20% history, that's what they have. Now, little juju they get, they don't get any other thing. But 20%, they get more history. 20% history. Then 80% lie. And myths. You see all those Netflix, Jaguar and all of that. If you see what do they portray? Not be all social witch, wizard, juju and all of that. Neither they portray, they don't get history. So, but they still try. They get 20%. But you see all those one, the dots, where the one that Buhari referred to, the dots in the nation. All those one, the whole history. I don't pass on. All those one, the whole history. 100% no history. All those one they hold. They not get history. They the whole history. Any that so those one that's why they refer to the dots in the nation. So those ones rely on the history of other people to tell their own history. because they don't have. So, but we, that all our history is 100%. When the matter of Ologbo came in, before I did sequential live videos about Ologbo, the Shekiris were not aware the year that the so-called mythological Ikaye went to war. The Shekiris could not tell us. The Shekiris could not tell us which Oba of Benin was on the throne when that war took place, until Anna came out and said that Benin Akure war took place in the year 1818 AD. After I did my live video, they want to be upgrading their history. That's what they always do with my live video. And I said that Ikaye during the reign of Oba 7, they didn't know before. That is why if you check any of their history where they mention the year of Oba 7, it will not be more than 4 years ago. That is after I had done quite a sequential. You should go and look for my sequential histories on Olugbo, the founding of Olugbo and all of that. It's there. I've done so many extensive work. I've done so many hundreds of video. So it's also the same with their father. Yoruba, they said a snake cannot give birth to a lion, or a snake will always give birth to a snake. You understand? Men looking at how they behave, you just know that if you because when you see people who twist and lie too much, refer it to the West. They are number one. So now we are very accurate with dating. E.g., when the Benin said that it is the Edo people that founded Ondo town, not Ondo state. We should be getting this thing clear. When was Ondo state created? Yeah. Created the Ondo town, or the Ondo Awoni Udo, translated in Benin, Edo, as Omani Nudo or Emanudo. In Yoruba, they call it Awo. Anyhow, they call it Awo Udo. That is Ondo. Now, when did these people fled Benin? Was it not in the reign of Obaisige? And Obaisige reigned. When was Obaisige crowned as the Oba of Benin? 1504. Shortly after he was crowned, that was when he fought the war with his brother Aran, defeated him, and after some few years, the Iyase of Aran was the then Enogi of Udohu. Aran drowned himself. His Iyase was Osemuge, took up that fight again and fought Benin, and he was not defeated. That's when he took almost 80% of the population of the Udo and fled. That should have been around 1510 during the reign of Obaisige. Now, when you go to Ondo town and ask them, when was Ondo town founded? They are going to tell you early 16th century. Does that conform with when the Benin said they actually left? It conforms. History must tarry through dates. Even the Yorubas were not aware that Oromia came to Benin in 1100. It was we that told them. They started to date their history in the late 17th century. While we have been dating our history far back in the BC, they didn't know that Oromia came to Benin. It was we that told them that Oromia, it came in 1100. We have facts. We have dates. You understand? So you cannot lie. You cannot lie. You cannot lie with age, because it is the date we used to owe their brokers. If you said Oduduwa reigned in Ile-Ife in 6 AD. From 6 AD, or reigned in what did they call it? I think 600 BC. Did Oduduwa reign, live for 400 years? They cannot marry their dates, but our dates are very clean. We knew when Ikaladeran left. We knew how many years it took for him to return through his grandson. Calculated 70 years. When you do the mathematics, it always falls into place. So, when you can actually see when we are discussing issues, when you see people when we are providing dates, timing, how it happened, what transpired in Benin, who was reigning at that time, you'll be amazed. When you read most of the ancient books of Ife, they didn't, probably the first 15 to 20 Onis of Ife, they didn't know the year they reigned. Maybe now they would have filled it with numbers, obviously. Using our own number to backdate it, they would have filled it in numbers. That's always. But right from the time immemorial of Benin, we had, right from the days of Ogiso, we knew how they reigned. Histories were passed. It was accurate. It was passed from generation to generation to generation with a lot of accuracy, with dates. With dates. Even as far back Ogiso, I even know yakpa ogara. Abi, I even know yakpa ogara. Yes, ugele. They know ya ade do even know ya Ogiso. Even ere igodo. Edo yen yoge odudu. Itan of Edo, every time it's a parable. Odudu no yudo, no bigodo, no ryogiso. Odudu no yudo, no bigodo, no ryogiso. Accuracy. That we can still tell who gave birth to the first Ogiso of Benin almost 2062 years ago. Accurately. The Benin people fought with the Igala people in 1515 to 1516. How? There was a letter that was written in Benin, dated October 20th, 1516, which is the oldest letter ever written by anybody in the place now called Nigeria. And it referred to the war as it's almost a year now that the Benin people went to war with the Igala people. So that letter was dated October 20, 1516. Automatically we know that the war started 1515 and it ended in 1516. Dates, time, we have it. That's accuracy of history. Not rhetorics. Not Oduduwa came with the robe from the sky. You understand? Have you ever read any Benin history that you don't see dates to it? That Benin is telling you a story, doesn't know the dates. Or the almost at the time when it happened. We know. That you started putting dates to your history just late 17th century or 18th century. You are telling us who have been dating our story even before Oduduwa came from the moon. You understand? So now I did a documentary. I want you people to go back to that documentary and open your mind to that documentary and pay key attention. I want you to pay key attention to that documentary again. That documentary was me exposing the lies of Ife and Uhe. think, what did I title that document? I think Ife versus Uhe versus Ife, a misconstrued, a misconception of history. I think it's something like that. Look for it. I think it should be on YouTube. It has part 1 and it has part 2. Ododo wa yo. Ina walk back forest. Ogba zoo. And now where my brother was the one who did that documentary. Omorige Osakpolo was the guy behind the camera. Iwa yododo red cloth yo. So I was in tandem with nature. So inspiration were coming. Because before late Dr. Aiseneka Gosa, we had some very, very educational interactions. Those educational interactions was about Uhe and Ife, where they actually discern. I demystified it with proofs. I demystified it with proofs. How do you know truth? Benin recorded histories in 2 ways, in songs and in parables. In songs and in parables. That is how we recorded our history. Before, after some time, they now created a league of the most wisest and the most intelligent of all the Edo sons and coalesced them into a guild that became the very first guild that was formed by the Ogisos of them, which they named Ugoron, which I am a physical representation of. Professor O.S.B. Omorige accounted that he meant with some last, the last of the Ugoron. They no longer exist. They were the most intelligent Edo people coalesced into a group. Their function was to keep the history as intact as possible. So as far back as 2,000 years ago, the Benins already created a guild to preserve their history. So that is why our history is almost nearness to accurate. So OSB had meant with the remaining, which he proved that he meant with some of the remaining Ugoron, and they told him, go and read, if you want to get the truth of the origin of Benin, go and read Great Benin, volume 1 to volume 3, written by Professor O.S.B. Omorige, where he talked about the creation of the land. Now, he was very clear. Uhe is very different from Ile-Ife. Uhe. Because there were songs that were played. There were songs that these Ugoron people sang to him. And one of which was Ogisori Uhe. I sing some. I can't sing it. I don't have the reading. So, but when you write it literally, Ogisori Uhe, Oke Kuhere, Omonosia Ewana Hinvi. Ogiso went to Uhe in the days of Uhe, as Oduduwa happened, as Oromia happened, in the days of Ogiso. So that means Ogiso were going to a place, and the place that the Ogisos were going to, at that time we have not had any formal recorded interaction with the Ile-Ife, with the present day Ile-Ife in Osun State. So they were going to a place which was not Ile-Ife. But now, the secret was the report that Ohe Okun gave. When Diavero came to Benin in 1485, it was the reign of Oba Ozolwa. Oba Ozolwa then had wanted to establish or wanted to establish an embassy in the city of Lisbon. So he sent Ohe Oku Olugoton Okun of Uwoton, and 1 or 2 palace courtiers to follow Diavero on the possibilities of creating an embassy in Lisbon. Now, when Okun now got to Lisbon, at that time the king was John II. He gave him a story. He gave him a story. He narrated a story. He narrated a story. That story that he narrated was what the Portuguese used in formulating an history that they now said that the Obas of Benin were paying tribute to a great potentate of the interior. And the story that he gave was that this great king, it wasn't even a king, he was a priestly king, lies northeast of Benin. Northeast. On another geography, the report that was given that he lies northeast and below the great waters. There's no single great water in Ile-Ife. Now there I go school. Which great water did there? As no worry Ile-Ife. As no Ile-Ife. On my polo say Bobari. These were 2 geographical details that he gave as to the location of where the Obas, not just the Obas, the Ogisos also went there. So that's my argument. Anywhere the Ogisos were pre-Oduduwa. They were pre-Caladera. They were pre-Oromia. So, if the Ogisos were going to the place, it couldn't have been Ile-Ife in Osun State. Because the Ogisos went, the Obas of Benin, when the last Oba of Benin to go there was Oba Ewa the first. The records are there. And I also went in the documentary to state why he stopped going. Instead, he uprooted the spirituality of that being and brought it to Benin. And that is what we now call the Enidu. Oba Ewa the first established Enidu. Bang, 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 bang. I too they give details. Go to my documentary. I tried because I knew a whole lot of these things are going to crop up in the future. So anything that I knew was going to crop up in the future, I tackled it. It's just that a lot of you people go and see, if you dedicate 1 month listening to all my videos, you know that almost everything, all this propaganda they are now bringing, at one point in time, I have answered all the questions that they are trying to now pose. I've answered the question. I've discredited Orunba Ado. I've discredited Ile-Ife. I've discredited all of them. And why now worry? On it me do. Mama yo. You understand? 2 geographical elements were given that the Obas of Benin were paying homage. Quite all right. It is true. As powerful as the Oba of Benin was, it was still paying homage. So that was a report that the uncle gave in Portugal. And the king there was like, the Oba of Benin, as powerful as he is still paying homage to someone. Then I said the only person that the Oba of Benin can pay homage was a mythological figure which they believe was Presley John. Everyone knows the story of Presley John. That was what came to the mind of John II, and it was like, if I am the one who discovered where the great mythological figure called Presley John is, that means I'm going to rule the entire Europe. Then he now charged a man called Bartolomé Diaz in the year 1487 to quickly go and find out who that such powerful personality is that even the Oba of Benin will be paying homage to. Bartolomé Diaz was trying to look for that man, but in course of looking for that man, he discovered Cape of Good Hope, South Africa. So a report that a Benin man gave led to the European discovery of Cape of Good Hope. You still do not understand what that means? Well, I understand what that means. My way discover South Africa. Egani na hana. Iya yewe sango uwa. Iya yewe calories na we. Mami water wa we nike. We were already going through determining the geography of the world, exploring Europe, America, and all of that. You understand? They were still living in the age of Adam. They were all still naked in the dense forest of Ile-Ife. These are the people that are telling you that we are their children. And I don't tell you, oh yeah, my really. Oh God. You understand? It was a report that was given to one Okun that led to the discovery of South Africa, the European discovery of South Africa. Quote me anywhere. They are fact, they are evidence to that, to back up that. You understand? So you were already global. What made them global was slave. They begin to send their children as slaves in Brazil and in America. It is slavery that made these tribes global. We were global by value. Our international recognition was based on trade and value. You respect me, I respect you. But they became recognized as slaves. Abe sugar plantation, Satomi and all of that. Not their descendants. You understand? You see people in America and Brazil tracing their ancestry to Igbo and Yoruba. How many you don't see tracing their ancestry to Benin? How many? We were recognized based on the value that we had. We were recognized based on equality. The Europeans came. I told you of the story that was recorded by Bradbury. Let me see. These are the original works of Bradbury. The Benin Kingdom and the Edo-speaking people of southwestern Nigeria. It was originally printed in 1957, so I'm having a document as old as 1957 as part of my collection. So just in case you know that we are not map makers. I don't know whether I'll be able to ask to get it. Dutch. See, I will snap the page. By God's grace, I'll look for it. It should be here. It should be in this work. I'll snap the page and I'll put it here so that you people can have it. Now, but the story is this. the Dutchman, one of the Dutch person, I've forgotten his name. They were traders. They were trading with. They were stationed at Uwadon, so they were trading. This story happened in the mid or the early 18th century. All right. By that time, we have stopped trading with the Portuguese. We are not trading with the Dutch. Most of our stories were recorded by the Dutch. The Dutch recorded more Benin story. Look at it. The Portuguese recorded Benin stories and in glowing terms, in inequality. The Dutch, the same. Then came the French, the same. But it's that useless, stupid British people that downgraded us, that tried to spoil our name. But three other European minds saw us as equals because we saw them as equal. You can't downgrade us. We're already a civilization older than you. They're not back high no. So let me go back to that Dutch. The Dutch, there were some stringent laws that was placed at that time by one of the Oba. I can't remember, but I know it was during the reign of those Aken, but I can't remember which of the Aken. So these laws were placed, but one of the Dutch was like, the Oba Benin cannot put that kind of a law. Cannot put that law. Then eventually he grew angry. He left. He traveled from Uwadon and came. We were doing a ceremony. Then he took out his gun. And shot at the Oba of Benin. But things day. Evian day. You understand? Evian day. Things or things. Evian day, he missed. Eventually. In summary, he missed because Evian day. Oba did not send any of his chiefs to go and bring the bagger. He only sent a message to his other Dutch traders or Dutch friends. And we took his head off. It was his Dutch friends that brought him to the Oba, and his head was removed. I'm sure if the Dutch are shot at any of the kings of Yoruba, the Yorubas would have bad now to say, Kabi Ezio, Dutch, Ekbeleo, Dutchman, Ekbeleo. We brought him to the palace and took his head off. And his people still apologized. The descendants of slaves are not telling us that we Benin, we came from them. Descendant of slaves. Descendant that all the sugar plantation in America and all of that. They are not the one telling us that. It happened. Then I'm also looking for an old document. When I bring that document, it's going to shut a lot of people up. That document happened during the time of Obazolwa. There were 2 European nations that were supposed to go to war. I can't remember because I read that book. I can't remember. It's not the works of Bradbury. Maybe it could be the works of AFC Raida. There were 2 European nations. I'm going to ask Professor Uyulawa. He could be able to help me. I know it was during the reign of Obazolwa. There are 2 European nations that were to go to war. But it was a European nation and the English country, the British Kingdom, that European nation wrote to the Oba of Benin at that time to please join him, that we should join them to fight the British on conquest. It will be divided equally. Allah, in the next few days or few weeks, I'm going to provide that book written by a European. A European heavyweight wrote to us, but I know it was a European country and the British Kingdom. They were to go to war. They wrote to the Oba of Benin to join them in that war. On defeat of the British, they are going to share the British Kingdom into two, one part to us and one part to them. The Oba of Benin declined and said that he doesn't interfere in a sovereign nation matter. But he failed to realize that British, that if he had joined that force and conquered the British, these useless people today will not be talking to us. It was recorded by a European. I'm going to bring it so that you people can see for yourself. No, we will not join them. We will not join them. We will not join. But yet, I will. Like I said, I read it somewhere. I'm going to look for it. What if I tell you say I read them, I read them. I know they can't lie. No, we are bad. We are doing it. My toge. Before now, if I had told you that until the Benin people recognize Brazil as a sovereign nation, the world did not recognize Brazil as a sovereign nation. We were the one who recognized, and that was in 1824. I read it. I will snap it and put here. Let them go and do research if what I said is true. Ah. Understand? So, I want us to understand these things intellectually, like I have said. Do not be aggrieved. Do not be aggrieved. Yes, you were not here when I read it. Let me recap. That was the beginning for latecomers. I read it. Let me read it again. Oh, let me read it again. For latecomers, for the benefit of latecomers. Let me read it again before I move on to the next topic. We need one kind before we round up. So the next live video, I will finish them. You will finish young pata. In 1824, the Republic of Brazil in South America forcibly obtained their independence from Portugal, cutting off the umbilical cord which joined her to her European mother country. Because she seized her independence from her European mother country, other European nations were afraid, refused to extend diplomatic recognition to the new country after Brazil had forcibly got their independence from Portugal in 1824. Other countries were afraid. They didn't want to recognize Brazil. But there was a country. There was a country. The Kingdom of Benin under Oba Semede. Oba Semede reigned 1816 to 1848. We are not telling that someone fell from heaven. We are also giving you dates, because that was the year the Oba reigned. So And they got an independence in 1824. So it's in between 1816 and 1848. He said the Kingdom of Benin under Oba Semede was one of the first countries in the world to extend to this South America country the diplomatic recognition which validated our independence. When the Oba Benin come out and said, I recognize Brazil as an independent country, automatically Brazil became a validated independent country. You people go on. I said, whenever you see yourself be clapping, I said at this time, any egbe pint, one would already they determine what they go on for international affairs of the world. All these people were naked in the forest of Ile-Ife. You understand? They were still scraping the surface of the earth to feed. We were already running show. We'd already say, okay, Oba Benin does, since una get independence, we accept, so una don't get independence, automatically is validated. That was how powerful the Obas of Benin were. I was warning in the real Sadebi Avenue. Only in my area, I miss it. Oh God. Okay, let me go ahead. The book went further to say the Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City. Now, the Oba of Benin have now said, I have agreed for you to have your independence. I have agreed. All right? I have agreed for you to have your independence. Okay. Now, the Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City. Remember, Benin City was the capital of everywhere, including Lagos. Before you even chop safe for Lagos, before Oba of Lagos chop, you must send message. Come give Oba Benin. Oba, Omo atok any day Ovima. Understand? So the Oba of Lagos had recommended to Benin City a worthy and illiterate Lagosian, a Brazilian returnee. Ushuya and even you do, yeah, slavery, and graduate from slavery, you know. A Brazilian returning whom the Lagos people generally refer to as Aguda. So Agudas are Lagosian Brazilian returnees. That's what they refer to as Aguda. And the Sierra Leone Lagosian returnees are called Saro. So this man was an Aguda. This Aguda grandee was His Excellency. This is his name. Manuel, M-A-N-O-E-L. Manuel Alves de Lima. He became the ambassador plenipotentiary or potentiary. Plenipotentiary. I don't know what that English means. Please, someone can check it for me, please. Can check it for me. Ambassador plenipotentiary of Oba Semede of Benin to the court of the Republic of Brazil in the capital Bahia. So that means we were the first person to produce an ambassador as a sovereign nation to a new sovereign nation called Brazil. All right? Called Brazil. And that name of the man was called Manuel Alves de Lima. Now he became an ambassador between Brazil and the country of Benin. Now, it went further to say it was only after this recognition extended by Benin to Brazil that other European countries like Britain and France and then Portugal herself extended their own diplomatic recognition to the new Latin America country. So at the time when Yorubas were still very naked in the Ile-Ife forest, in the Ile-Ife forest, Benins were already giving sovereignty, deciding who becomes a sovereign nation that the entire world now agrees to at that time. So these are things when I said you should clap for yourself. You understand? That now the sons of slaves are not telling the sons of freeborns. The sons of slaves are not telling the sons of freeborns like us that we came from them. When Oba Benin was still running international affair, the Oni was still giving Ogogoro Shekbe to all the 201 deities of Ile-Ife. The evidences are here. So when you say why are they attacking us, like I have said, in a plain Edo language, Iranome Pakpa Edo Wakbalo. Iran no me Pakpa Edo Wakbalo. Iran no me Pakpa Edo Wakbalo. They said Benin is just 7 local governments. But Benin is given a sleepless night. 7 states against, 6 states against 7 local governments. And they are sweating profusely. And they are sweating profusely. Then the other one called dot in the cycle. Those ones that are called dot in the cycle. So, dot in the cycle and liars of this millennium. Dot in the cycle and liars of this millennium join together. They are unable, okay, 5 states. They are unable to shut down or shut up 7 local governments. At a point, they are now starting to even go to some very unscrupulous people amongst the Benin country. Probably that their mother are Yoruba. Most of them are Indonekwe. Then I will Giamieni Ye and the rest. Still, Uloko no Gira. Like I said, Ikaladeran. You know why not Ikaladeran yaha? The guides. Ikaladeran. Ni Oduduwa. Ikaladeran means the guide of a wood, of a tree, determines its worth. The guides. Only the circumference. The way the wood is big. You know, they'll say it gallant. In pidgin parlance, they'll say that wood gallant. The wood gallant. On you loco, no geran. I do him. As if we my vu. That's loco no geran or John way or geraya, which is him. I do him. We are 3 in 1. Oha uloko. Yeah, ihimi. Edohi. 7 local government is dealing with almost 12 states. That is states or 11 states, anyhow you calculate it, or 10 states. Liars of the millennium on your Abi Yoruba, then dot in the cycle. You understand? 7 local government. I will continue to deal with them. You understand? We'll continue. We'll continue to deal with them. So Muna not shake. So all those people who have been calling me say, what do we do? They are attacking you from left and right. I told you. In English, they said, with great power come with great responsibility. So the history is there. Nobody. I read last 2 weeks. One of the Yoruba bloggers, he said that Benin never had an empire. That the only empire that existed in Southern region was Oyo Empire. You know, I know Sabi the reply. The only question I wanted to ask is your coastline at your backyard. Your coastline at your backyard. The river. Me, you're wrong. Me, they your backyard. Your own backyard, your empire backyard. Is named after Benin. You understand? Is named after Benin. It's just like a man saying, it's just like man say that. Now he get this house, but every land surrounding where the house they, including where the house they, now another person named na dey. But you say now he get the house. Your so-called Oyo Empire, its own coastline is named after Benin, called Bight of Benin. Then you are saying that Benin does not have an empire. Where your own empire coastline is named after Benin. There's no Bight of Yoruba, you are aware. Your entire coastline is named after Benin. Is that a foolishness? Do you think if you tell that kind of sort of stupidity, sort of stupid talk to your own children, your children will not say, Daddy, you lie, you can lie, you can lie, that you said you were greater than these people, but your own coastline, as an Owa Legawa, is named after the people you said you are greater than. You understand? Maybe I go change that to Bight of Yoruba. Yes, sir. So you don't need to argue with them. There are one or two words you just give them, you go and sleep. He said Benin did not have we don't have an empire. Quite I agree. You that have an empire, your coastline is named after Benin. So what does that make of that statement? If it doesn't amount to stupidity. You understand? You that were beaten left and right. Let me read something again. The Kiriji War. You know, the Kiriji War is believed to be the longest intra-war and probably the last. You know, they were always fighting themselves. You know, these people, they are not calling Yoruba. You know, they are not one. They were always fighting themselves. The Oyo, the Laje, the Ekiti, blah, blah, blah. They were always fighting themselves. So the last intra-war between this set of people, they call it the Kiriji War. Let us look at what Kiriji means. Was it a Yoruba word? Okay. Okay. Look at a very interesting thing. Since the founding of Ondo town, there has been no history of conflicts between her and Benin. She became a conduit through which European manufactured goods from the coast, that is, from Benin and Lagos, reached the heartland of the Yoruba country. The Kiriji War was the last great intra-ethnic struggle amongst the Yoruba, the centenary of which was celebrated in Yoruba land some years ago, was fought on the side of the Ekiti Barakbo allies, partly with guns obtained from Benin. Again, you see Benin have appeared. Partly with guns obtained from Benin, and later with the state-of-the-art guns procured by Wedi Ijesha, sons resident in Lagos, and routed through Ondo to their allies. Then I want you people to listen very attentively. The fearful Kiriji sound made by the guns obtained through Benin. So the sound of the gun, the sound of the gun is called or make a kiriji. So, if the sound of the gun that we gave them was the one that made kiriji, so understand that kiriji is not a Yoruba word though, it's a sound made from the guns that we gave them. And he further went and said that the fearful kiriji sound made by the guns obtained through Benin gave this last of the Yoruba words his name in history. Just as the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 70 might have been known as the Tako War from the sound made at the battlefront by the Biafran infantry gun. So even the gun that we're using fighting themselves, we also supplied it. So automatically, these are the same people that are now calling us our son. When they were killing ourselves, they also came to be, I beg, make una find us, make una give us gun. Obviously, we are going to support the Ekiti people because they were part of us. The next live video, you know, the next live video, I'm going to talk about the British created 3 companies: the Lagos Colony, the Niger Protectorate, and the UAC. These were the 3 companies that the British created, and they shared the southern part of Nigeria amongst themselves. And I will tell you how Ekiti and Akure was whisked away from Benin and added to Lagos Colony. That is the next class, so that you will know that historically, even archived in the British Museum, archived in intelligent report of the British, that Ekiti and Akure were Benin, were part of Benin country and not Yoruba country. Or Yoruba country, though Yoruba doesn't even exist, was part of Benin country. I'm going to bring facts. I'm not going to be speaking in riddles. How they shared amongst themselves within these 3 countries. Alright? So that will be our next class. So our next class, don't miss it. So I thank all of you who have spent time to be here. And I have to thank all of you. From Easy Omuri to all of you. To Izomo Kakadu, to Otemege Masha, to every single person. I can't mention names. I've seen the incredible jobs you guys are doing. That 20 Benin people, just 20 or 30, or let's say 40, and the likes. Although on Obaseki matter, it tends to be opposite, and I don't know why. As intelligent as he is, he doesn't know that Obaseki is the most wicked man on earth. Even if you Obama say Obaseki niya, so I don't know. Obaseki matter, it tends to be, I don't know. Man, a bon Obaseki would attend any, and funny enough, you Korean take not like me. You understand? But on Obaseki matter, we are not very different. So, but however, I can see all you guys' contribution. You people are the ones who should be recognized in Benin. Not those having nigi botoni. You understand? Who has never contributed anything to this kingdom. The only thing they have knew is to collect and 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 collect. A collecting here, you collect. Yeah, why you collect now? I mean, you collect now. You show me, you go and like. But today is not about them. I will soon open their books once again, because it's like they are relaxed now. So Uboa will dinner soon. They should wait for me. I'm coming for them again. The worst they can do. Then I be ladian. So Egani, baby, I so I thank all of you. You guys are most wonderful. And again, the people who have asked me, I need to quickly throw this. so that people know how I think. I don't want anybody to think like the way I think. If Obaseki, as a governor, picks my father, my late father, to succeed him, me, Imaswen Amowe Zodua, will not vote for my own father. Are you people listening now? If the current governor of Edo State picks my own father, my own late father, no what be me, to be the next governor of Edo State, me na no rema, me vote in many. So that answers everything. I have nothing. To be candid, I'm not interested in politics. It doesn't pay my bills. I'm living quite alright, as you people can see. So I'm not even bagge show. My least paid staffs hand more than bagge. So I can't be found on that issues. So I know doesn't even need warning. But what I'm saying is that, sincerely speaking, I have nothing against Aswin Godalo. Edo ya ekbita or mama we me yoma I tell madam. I've always believed in matter of fairness and equity. But the issue is this: since obey guy in your Larry, I was you. Since obey guy in your Larry, guy ha Boero. But that does not mean the guy is a bad person. I've said it because Edo on mama we me yoma I tell madam. On mama we me yoma I tell madam. So I cannot say he's a bad person. But because of low big guy ni because of low big guy ni huh? So now, so I want to talk and reach. I want to quickly say this. Do you people remember? Do you people remember this thing? That's why I say, those who have been following me, 2 years ago, I said something. I said he was fraternized, that he was going to fraternize with 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Didn't I say it? He was going to fraternize with 4 people. I mentioned number 1 as Ogiamie. Can you people remember? I mentioned number 2 as Iyase of Udo. I mentioned number 3 as Elawure of Usen. I mentioned number 4 as Enogi of Umogunokwa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of these 4, it is only Iyase Norudo that said Imo Bowo. Last year, didn't you see some Umogunokwa people misbehaving on social media? This year, what are you not seeing? Is it not some Usen people that are misbehaving? Since all these people have been misbehaving, they are Ghanaian people. I said it. How did I prove? Because when you read someone's thought pattern, when you want, that's why I always said he has always been poised in dividing Benin Kingdom. Because these are the 4 principalities in the old. I call them principalities because you have to give them the respect at one point in time. That at one point in history have challenged the authority of the Oba of Benin. These 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4. I said if anybody wants to divide Benin Kingdom, he must go and meet these 4 people. And he did. That's when I knew. I told it. It was a prediction I made. That's when I knew it was poised in dividing Benin Kingdom. Because you have to now check those who can legitimately comment that has a bit of history that is not really on their side, that they think that they have to want to challenge the authority of the Benin. And that's what exactly he did. It is only he has a noodle. Why he has a noodle did not fall is this. The Obas of that time knew after Osemuge was defeated, after Enogi of Udo was defeated, Obaisige na ensure that never a time will there be a Noge in Odo. And he now ensure that he created two families, the Iyase and the Wangwe, and giving them equal power that should, in case any Iyase misbehave on his death, it will move to the Wangwe family. It's because of the rotation of that authority in Odo. That is why this one did not fall into the antics of that guy. But the rest took it. Ovie do no enegbe meaning manaye na life. Wayaneru. Ah shit. Edo de 1 week. Osanu doesn't even make a warrior, man. 1 week. I know what to do. I know all the pieces of the history. I know all the pieces of the history. Yes, now that's what it means. Now, if you wave, Baba will drop and will put Wango. If Wango wave, Baba will drop and will put Iyase. That's why. Checks and balances of Obaisige at that time, that is why he could not wave. We need to create those checks and balances in for the other three. I will not say anything now. That checks and balances oruwe koime. Mana la Sadebe Avenue. I mean, there won't be anything. You can't hear it because we know the history. Omogun Ozwagbo supposed to be the head of the Elegbe. How can I drop on here? Omogun Ozwagbo as the head of Elegbe. It's simple. Let me not say anything. The history are there. The history are there. So we know what to do. Erunane Osanu doesn't even nikau that Edoma produced a governor since 1999. Edoma produced a governor ye tie. Edo has not produced one governor. One. I go no ya de gbe si my gbe Sanu doesn't even nikau. Okay, Mahame governor. No gele no sunu. No ma genge do. So that's all I have to say. So my programs are not political. If you want to read politics in theory, it is your head. I've never always hide my dislike for him. And everything that I have said about him are not lies, are matter of fact. None of these things ever happened in Benin, where people are now coming out from Benin to challenge the authority of Benin. And they are not one, they are not two, they are not three. It has never happened in the history of Benin except during his time. Except during his time. So I thank all of you. Waya Wese. So please, I would continue to beg you all. Stand and fight for your land. Forget about those other Edo people. Those other people you call mentors that some people look up to. Those ones, if you give them 500 million, they will say Edo land without thinking twice. So was in your ball. I heard that in Edo South elite. That someone went to meet Edo South elite. Edo South elite. Have you ever seen all those people defend Benin interest one day? So people who have ever defended Benin interest, I had Edo South elite. Was one minute. I don't know how to ni we do rock banana. Any need do do yam. Ah, so why anyway? That's how I want to talk and reach. But again, I have forgot one very important thing. The next live program, which will be very soon, we need to talk about Benin Investors Conference. Benin Investors Conference. There's already a page on Facebook. Please, you all go and like Benin Investors Conference. It will change everything. Supposed to be October, it has been shifted to first week of December. Benin Investors Conference. It is time for the Beninis to come together and think for what becomes Benin in the next 10, 20, 30 years. That is what Benin Investors Conference is going to do. And during that conference, which is going to be incredible, we are going to be launching Benin Trust Fund. As I'm talking to you, the best expert web developers, app developers, are currently working on this project. So we'll put a lot of resources on it. But by next week, by God's grace, we're already hitting the grants. We already have a group. We're coming up. Every person who wants to be part of it, you can join. It's not only when a party you will do, but only one can will do it. Benin people are no longer focused on the things that can build Benin Kingdom. They are only focused on the frivolities of parties and ceremonies. These are ephemerals. We want things that are tangible. We should start looking on how we can develop ourselves collectively, not individually. Individually is not paying. We have to come together as one people and develop ourselves to grow together. No, it's called Benin Investors Conference. Yeah, I can't really type. So Benin Investors Conference. There's a page on Facebook. So share any of the posts out there, talk about it. But the next program, I'm going to give all the full breakdown so that everybody can be part of it. It is our program. It is not my program. It is for every Benin person. So we are going to meet all social media influencers. We're going to reach out to them. We're going to reach out to all stakeholders. When I mean all stakeholders except all Benin, strictly Benin thing. Ununozedo is strictly 100% Ununozedo from everything. Participants, every single person that's going to be participating is going to be strictly Benin, because we want to create what we call Benin First philosophy, Benin First movement, Benin First ideology. Everything has to be Makba first, us first before any other thing. We have to develop ourselves before we can develop others. It has to be the Benin First ideology. That's the motto, the Benin First ideology. It has to be about ourselves, how we can collectively develop ourselves. So it's Benin Investors Conference. So it's going to be mind blowing. So I appreciate all of you, and I thank all of you. So why I was say, so you people keep the fire burning. I cannot love you people less. And don't also forget, I sell land though. If I no one make I go become politician, I went to here told ah God. Need told never believe anything that comes from their mouth. You understand? If una no one make I go they do SSC, they follow them. When I come buy land, oh, genuine land. No go buy land, oh. Na do go wa. Genuine land. One of the best estates in Benin. I currently have it. One of the best estates in Benin. I'm not joking. So have time, patronize me. If you cannot patronize me, if you see my videos, if you see anything that has to do with me, that's how we support. We have to start supporting ourselves to grow. So if you see any video concerning me, help me spread it, help me share it. 84 KSS. If I don't want to make I go to say that one is the best governor in the history of the world. Otherwise, when I go open WhatsApp group, hey, it is Oduwa. Is Oduwa or you are shot. Is the best. Or you want post only one picture. When one picture packet I am about post secretariat. A picture no a picture we are Google Edo State. If Edo State now 1,000 picture we Google folder. A picture also I take a 725 place. 725. So why when you post again what I post a picture secretariat. So if no one wanna poison me, so allow patronize a brother. It's really important. almost all the things I'm doing now, the only thing I think about outside my family, I think about how to grow Benin. I pray to God and our ancestors every day. We need to make Benin great again. All right, Benin. We'll continue to talk about the greatness of Benin in the past, but we have to leave a legacy for the future. We have to start building an incredible past for our future. So let's start thinking for the generations yet unborn or the younger generations. It's high time. We are not the future. No, not the future. We are already, we are becoming the elite of this land. Those are what they call the elite. We are now the guys who are supposed to be running the matter when it comes to Benin Kingdom's affair. Managi no. Obima Hwae. If anybody can say anything about me, I'm arrogant, I'm full of myself, I'm prideful, I agree. But what they can never say to you is that Itoge Eloye Kohuere Idoma Idie Belekuya Migo Idoma Emidie. These principles of mine of keeping my way straight, I don't joke with it. So likewise, all of you. A matter edota, a matter I ain't doing. No room women, ne do na allow na time. You understand? So why I was say. So I thank all of you. I appreciate you. Keep the fire burning. Keep defending. Like I said, Iran no make pakpa. Akbalo edota. So why you do who why ye with day? Should in case there are questions that needs answers that you do not have, you can always drop private messages with me. I will reply. I'll respond. If I don't have answer to it, trust me, I know one or two persons that will tell me the answers to the questions that you seek. You understand? I've not always hidden that I'm a product of so many intelligent minds. Some are gone, but some are still alive. But I always say, Obama talk by you. He said, I'll see you guys very soon. Wadomo.